22, Fabian Ramirez is 29, but in terms of height and weight, both evenly matched, although I feel that looking at them, Andrey has probably cut a fair amount of weight to make this 145-pound limit. Our referee, Steve Hodgett, about to get things underway here.
You ready? Ready? Fight!
And it is a go in our second match here tonight at Tezos. Who's number one?
Now don't be surprised if Fabricio Andrey launches into a flying attack. We've seen him do it many times before. Even pulled off a world championship title in the gi doing such not that long ago, Hal.
Yeah, Fabricio Andrey has a very dynamic game. He is an absolute monster with triangles from every position, whether it is top, whether it is bottom, whether it is flying from on the feet. A very dynamic submission artist indeed, a big character, as much as a fantastic competitor. And there was a very nicely timed inside trip, Huchigari style, putting Ramirez down on the mat. And much like his teammates, both Diogo Reis and Mika Galvão, Fabricio Andrey also won the ADCC South American Trials. Diogo Reis won the 66-kilogram division in the first South American Trials. And a week later, Fabricio Andrey followed up by winning that same weight class at the second South American Trials, therefore qualifying 3 men from the same training room in Manaus, Brazil for the 2022 ADCC World Championships. So this, just about 6 weeks out, is a great opportunity for Fabricio Andrey to really show the American audience exactly what his jiu-jitsu is like.
Yeah, and what was really incredible about those ADCC Trials runs was just looking at his past experience in no-gi being rather minimal, but it doesn't seem to matter here. Look at that incredible dump as Fabricio Andrey establishes great Zipo control here.
We said he was dynamic. That shot to the back and a very well-timed pickup and mat return there from Fabricio Andrey. Seems like we've got a quick timeout there. Oh, he's going to restart them in the center in that same riding kind of position from the rear body lock. Position from the rear body lock. But for Fabricio Andrey, based on what we saw from that little wrestling exchange, I would say seems to have a clear strength advantage in this match.
You've seen his arms, right?
He's pretty jacked. I mean, he's walking around. Yes, he's only 5'5", but he looks a lot bigger than 145 pounds, that's for sure.
I'm sure that squeeze is coming in handy right about now as Andrey looks to solidify this position a little more. Fabian doing his best to get out of danger, but Andrey's not someone you get away from easily.
Ramirez doesn't mind going up against people bigger and stronger than him, though. He's competed in open weight matches many times. He's a gamer, and he's doing his best here to try and clear those hooks and escape this back control, trying to get his back flat to the mat. But Fabricio Andrey, oh, there we go. Ramirez is up and out and to his feet. And Ramirez, he lost the decision to Max Hansen, who outweighs him by a solid 20-25 pounds just a couple of weeks ago on the Who's Next finale. But Ramirez went a full 15 minutes with somebody who was a full weight class bigger than him. Didn't seem to phase him. So somebody who's only 10 pounds heavier than him, maybe not such a big deal.
Yeah, I may feel more at home out here. It's also worth mentioning that in the first episode of WNX, Fabian went 40 minutes, I believe, with Andrew Tackett before eventually falling just short there.
Another competitor who outweighs him by about 20 pounds.
Yeah, and there were a lot of escapes in that matchup as well. So you can tell that he's very confident in his defense and is going to try and find an opening when he can.
Oh, he's a gamer for sure. For Fabian Ramirez, you know, coming out of Long Island and training with a Sarah Jiu-Jitsu team there. You know, based in, well, he's from East Meadow, New Jersey, but training in Long Island, New York with Matt Serra Jiu-Jitsu team, one of the best established Jiu-Jitsu schools in that region. Only a brown belt, I say only, I'm using little air quotes, only a brown belt in Jiu-Jitsu, whereas Fabricio Andrey is a black belt, but it's no-gi. Does that really matter, Chase?
I think we've proven that is not exactly, but oh my goodness, what a toss from Fabricio Andrey.
Amazing use of the underhook, the upper body control there. It's stepping through, huge hip toss. Looks like Ramirez was going to land on his head, but managing to spin out and take that fall, that impact on his back. And you can see that right here, Fabricio Andrey has a double top wrist lock control. He was looking for a kind of an Americana, but in forcing Ramirez to turn away, exposes that back. Man, that impact, that was such a big throw.
That might have been one of the biggest throws we've ever seen here at WNO. Great work from Fabricio Andrey. Definitely getting ready for ADCC. You can see him putting the work on the feet, and it's showing here tonight.
And no, even though this is a submission-only match, let's make it very clear here, a reminder for our viewers that, all right, points don't exist in who's number one, but effective grappling is considered by our judges. So takedowns, control, pin control, all adds up when it comes to a decision. And right now, our judges favor, no surprise, Fabricio Andrey. Because should it go the full 15 minutes, as our first match did against Diogo Hayes against Esteban Martinez, Chase, they're not just looking for submission attacks, they're looking for everything.
No, it's a holistic approach here at WNO, and throws are very important, especially when it gets down to it. In this case right now, I think it's a considerable lead here for Hokage and Fabricio Andrey.
Number of big takedowns. It was an attempt at a foot sweep. Fabricio Andrey, though, the one thing that he hasn't done so far, we're only 5 minutes into this 15-minute match, haven't really seen any significant submission attacks as yet.
Still a lot of time left here as we just approach the 9-minute mark. And I think Fabricio is really workshopping his wrestling. I think he wants to end up on the back, but he'd be happy with one more takedown, I think. Or two.
As you say, plenty of time to work. These 15-minute matches, you will see the athletes pace themselves because 15 minutes of non-stop action with no break, it's quite a physical test of endurance. Because, you know, Jiu-Jitsu has many athletic demands, not just the cardiovascular, but the strength, the isometric strength, explosiveness. It's very difficult to find those moments to rest. And Fabian Ramirez kind of backs up into the center of the mat. It looks like he wants to go forward, but every time he does, it looks like he's just running into a brick wall. When Andrey barely budges. Again, uses the footwork to go directly to the back control. And now you see Ramirez looking for a leg attack. It's a decent outside heel hook there. There was a look on Fabricio Andrey's face there for a moment. He didn't like that. That was a decent look at an attack right there, Chase.
Yeah, beautiful work from Fabian there to take the transition and put it in his favor. An unorthodox heel hook there, but well done to really fire a shot across the brow there and know that he's still in this match.
You know, the one thing that you can say as well, because leg locks, sometimes they can look effective and they could be a million miles away, or vice versa. Sometimes it doesn't look much and the guys tap in. But a key element of judging the success of a leg lock and the effectiveness of it is look at the guy's face. Look at his reaction. Does he have that moment of panic flash across his face? How does he react? Is he calm in his response, or is his response urgent? And I felt like that definitely was a decent leg attack from Ramirez, but that seems to have ignited something in Hokage here, because Andrey is immediately back on the attack and in a very powerful position.
Now we see a little more controlled approach from Andrey. He's going to try and cook Ramirez just a little bit here, put some pressure on, tire him out. He knows he's got the tempo lead here. I think he would like to pass one more time, maybe start looking for the back again.
One thing I did mention though is about Fabricio Andrey is that second time that he's had a top position. He's had a controlling position, a pin, and yet didn't really do anything with it. You know, was there and was holding the position, but didn't even attempt to separate the arms away from the torso, didn't even attempt to work on the neck or even force Ramirez into a worse position where he could attack from. And I think it is not enough to simply control your opponent here who's number one. We do want to see the submission attacks as well. And would like to see Fabricio Andrey. Oh, no, nice ankle pick. His wrestling is so smooth.
Yeah, really, really effortless work there, just timing it perfectly. Again, ends up in a nice passing position here.
As we come into the sort of right about the 10-minute mark, just over 5 minutes remaining in this match, I feel like there's still plenty of opportunity for Fabricio Andrey to attack and to really stamp his authority on this match.
Stop.
I'm liking the sense of urgency from Fabian Ramirez here. He knows he's down.
Oh, yeah. And I think that from Ramirez, that's kind of smart as well. Bide his time a little bit, see what, Andrey has got, and I'm sure we'll have our next judge's favor in just a moment. Be interested to see how that one goes.
Judge's favor, red.
Yeah, no surprise there. Fabricio Andrey gets the second judge's favor as we go into the final 5 minutes of this match. But there's a nicely timed guard pass straight again into this knee or belly kind of control, but a very low posture. Could be looking to force Ramirez to turn once again.
Great work from Fabian there to get back to seated guard.
Yeah, something of an escape artist is Fabian Ramirez, and I like the way that Fabricio Andrey was pinning that wrist to the mat, but backs up and away. I feel like he's looking for something specific because he's actually given up the control position to kind of back away, and I feel like if he's in a position that he doesn't, it's not in the game plan, let's say, it's almost like he's given it up. It seems to be set on something. Can't quite work out what it might be though.
Fabian seems to really want to enter into the legs here now. He's playing a little more coy early in this match. Didn't want to give his strategy away, but with only 3.5 minutes remaining, he knows that's kind of the Hail Mary he needs to achieve. But Fabricio Andrey's passing just looking so good out there.
That footwork is just something else, really. The way that he's able to maneuver himself around the legs. Really impressive. And now get a little bit more of a squeeze going from top here. You can see he's really maintaining contact between himself and Ramirez, going chest to chest. But Ramirez seems intent on keeping that right elbow as close to the body as he can. If it comes away, may see Fabricio Andrey look for an attack from here. I always feel like Fabricio Andrey is just too calm with only 2.5 minutes remaining in this match.
Immediately start hopping over that bottom hook, yep.
2 minutos e meio, Fabricio.
Stop.
Final 2.5.
Ramirez slips out and away and is back up to his feet once again. And there will be a neutral restart. The center of the match. The center of the mat, excuse me.
Reaching with lead hand a lot. Allows it to push up into a shot. Minute 40 left.
Stop. Middle, same place.
Just less than 90 seconds remaining in this match now. Good footwork there from Fabricio Andrey, going side to side. Good guard retention, though, by Fabian Ramirez. Trying to get his back off the mat and scoot his hips away. Distance management is absolutely key, but the pressure, unrelenting from Fabricio Andrey. The recovery, though, from Ramirez. And I feel that Andrey is just being too kind here. He's actually giving Ramirez space to work.
Yeah, he's really tenacious in the attempt, and then he gets where he wants to be and wants to give it another go. Maybe he is looking for a very specific sequence here. Seems like the back is on his mind, but again, he wants to rack up a few sequences in a row. Take down all the way to the back maybe is what he's hoping for. But with 30 seconds left, you would think he would try and get one last look at a solid finish here. And maybe give too much away. You never know what Fabian has left in the tank. A flying attack may be in order for him.
Well, there's there's coming up only about 20 seconds approximately left in this match. The clock is ticking. If there is any time for a last-ditch attack, it's now. As the 10-second countdown begins. Fabian Ramirez tries to get underneath the legs one more time. Go for what looks like a false reap setup here. Unable to get underneath the legs. Fabricio Andrey ends the match on top. A solid 15 minutes of action there. Our second match of the evening that will go to a decision. We'll take a look at some of the best moments from that match as the judges' scorecards are collected.
And here we see a very animated Fabricio Andrey take to the mat, and it was the wrestling that was the real story. A lot of huge takedowns from Hokage out here, showing off the work he's been putting in ahead of ADCC, including this massive dump, almost a full suplex, and then again looking for the back.
Here's the second takedown. That just a spectacular hip throw. One of the best I've ever seen on Who's Number One. Love to see it. But I got to say, I respect Fabian Ramirez for going down swinging this very effective outside heel hook attack. I mean, you could see that Fabricio Andrey was able to clear the knee line. It was a brief moment of danger, but dangerous it was. But the wrestling, such a factor for Fabricio Andrey in that match. And the referee will bring them back into the center so that we can make this official.
And let's go to the judges after our 15-minute war. Your winner, by unanimous decision, representing Fight Sports, Hokage Fabricio Andrey.
Winner by decision in his Who's Number One debut, Fabricio Andrey from Manaus, Brazil. The second Fight Sports team member to win here tonight at Tezos Who's Number One. So, there is Victoria joining Fabricio Andrey, and now handed it over to Kendall Rusing for a word with our winner.
All right, we are here with Fabricio Andrey. We're going to have some help with translation as well. So first off, congratulations. Second of all, that was some of the best wrestling and takedowns we've seen on the Who's Number One stage. I think 5 or more takedowns. Really, really impressive. Do you think that you can take everyone down in your division?
Primeiro, parabéns pela sua vitória, e eu acho que eu nunca vi o wrestling tão bem feito, tanta queda bonita. Acho que foram umas